Shine would be Saturday. Ben.
All right, Chris, many thanks. And that is today's BBC News at 1. The news does continue here on BBC One. It's time to join our colleagues across the nations and the regions for the news where you are. But from me, do have a very good afternoon.
Thank you, Ben. Hello, I'm Jennifer Jones with the headlines in Wales today. The school run and the commute to work. We get the reaction to the new 20 miles per hour speed limit in built-up areas. At nearly £18 million more a year, that's the estimated cost of increasing the number of Senedd members from 60 to 96. Good afternoon. Now, Dan, have you been out and about on the road since the introduction of the new 20 miles per hour speed limit? It's had its first test this morning with commuters and the school run. Well, yesterday, Wales became the first UK nation to change its default speed limit in built-up areas. Larry Glyn-Jones has more.
This is what the new 20-mile-an-hour limit is all about, encouraging more children and their parents to walk the streets. The Deputy Climate Change Minister joined these children from Albany Primary School in Cardiff today as they walked in. This area has been a 20-mile-an-hour zone for a while, and the head teacher says it's made a difference to the numbers choosing to walk, bike or scoot to school.
We've seen a noticeable increase from around sort of 70% of pupils travelling actively to near 90%. We're promoting that as well, so it is to do with having that confidence in it, but also we're promoting it. The children get badges if they travel actively to school and things. But I think that children do feel safer when the traffic is moving slower, and certainly parents do as well.
And these Year 6 pupils agree.
I think it will encourage people to walk or cycle, and it will be better for the planet, and there'll be less crashes and people being injured or killed. I think it's good for any cyclists because they might be scared thinking that a car would maybe hit them.
I think it's going to be better because when it was 30, the cars were going too fast and it would take ages to cross the roads because they couldn't stop.
But the changes have been controversial, with this sign in the Canton area of the city defaced over the weekend and a petition to rescind the new speed limit now with more than 50,000 signatures. According to the Welsh Conservatives, it shows the level of public outrage against this so-called madcap policy. But the Deputy Minister is insistent. It may be hard, but it's the right thing to do.
It's not comfortable. I'm not deliberately trying to wind people up, but I am trying to follow the evidence and the experience of elsewhere of bringing in change. There's no point talking in high-level principles about how we want to change things for the better, and then as soon as you come to implement a particular law, you run away from it. And in climate change, we're seeing this all the time, and this is an important measure for climate change too, because it will increase people's levels of confidence to cycle and to walk.
The true impact of the speed limit changes on costs, journey times, on walking to school rates won't be felt on the first working day, nor perhaps this first week. But the Minister hopes that the strength of opposition will be short-lived.
Larry Glyn-Jones reporting there. Now, adding 36 more politicians to the Senedd could cost an average of £17.8 million extra a year. That's according to new figures. It's the first time documents from Labour ministers have estimated the cost of a bigger Welsh Parliament. Well, our political editor, Gareth Lewis, has been following the story and joins us now. So, Gareth, what else stands out?
Well, they're pretty significant changes, aren't they, Jen? Not only to how this place will look, but also how Wales will be governed. We'll also have 16 constituencies in Wales, so a big change to the electoral map as well, each of which will return 6 Senedd members. It'll use proportional representation, so at the end of any form of first past the post for Senedd elections in Wales. What also stands out, you can't get away from it, is the cost. It's a tiny portion of the overall budget, but it comes at a time where the Welsh Government is looking to make £900 million worth of savings. It comes at a time where there wasn't £15 million to pay for free school meals in the recent summer holidays. Why is it happening then? Well, it's been discussed for about 6 years or so. It's part now of Welsh Labour and Plaid Cymru's cooperation agreement in the Senedd, and supporters of the change argue that as it currently stands, 60 Senedd members simply isn't enough to properly hold the Welsh Government to account and scrutinise what they do. Yes, it will cost, but the argument goes that voters will get a greater return for their money with more MSs able to dedicate more time to holding the Welsh Government to account. Now, I've been speaking today to the Minister in charge of this bill, and in the current climate, he does admit there is an element of a tough sell.
Anything to do that results in more politicians is difficult in this climate. And that's why I think we've taken such care to actually talk about this and to explain what is happening. But I have to say, this is the product of a decade of discussions. 2 special commissions have looked at this, a special purposes committee of the Senedd, countless debates. I think there is a very broad recognition that we need to seize this opportunity to make these changes now.
That said, the Welsh Conservatives are opposed to this. They say that Wales needs more policemen, more doctors, more nurses, more dentists, and definitely not more politicians. And I tell you what, it's been quite a start to the new political term from the Welsh Government. This comes off the back of bumper to bumper with the new 20 miles per hour law. It's a long time until the next Senedd election, 2026. So a sense perhaps of the Welsh Government trying to safely negotiate some of the tricky stuff early on before we get to that election.
OK, Gareth, thank you very much. That's Gareth Lewis for us there. And you can hear more on this in Wales Today at 6:30 this evening. A woman from Caerphilly who was cured thanks to a bone marrow transplant found out that the donor who saved her life lived just 15 miles away. Out of more than 40 million donors worldwide, Tasha Taylor from Newbridge discovered that Kirsty Burnett was a near-perfect match. Thanks to Kirsty's donation, she was cured of a rare, life-threatening condition. They're both now urging people to sign up to the Welsh Bone Marrow Register.
You never know when it could be you or like someone that you love that needs that transplant. So why wouldn't you want to do that for someone else in that position? It's definitely the proudest thing I've ever done in my life.
She saved my life and she's the biggest part of my life, quite literally. And anything I do, it is thanks to you.
Having a few days to prepare to face Australia at the Rugby World Cup will be great for Wales. That's according to Lewis Rees-Zammit. The Wales wing was speaking after their win over Portugal, and although the 28-8 victory was a narrower margin than many predicted, Zammit says he's more concerned with results than performances.
Not that concerned at all. We got 10 points. We've maxed out both games, bonus points, so there's a lot to improve on, and that's what we need. We need to progress, and we got 8 days going into Australia now. Having a longer training week is going to be great for us to prepare fully against a strong Australia team.
Football now, and Cardiff City manager Errol Bullitt has described their derby win over Swansea as special. It was Cardiff's first home win against Swansea in 10 years, thanks to goals from Ollie Tanner and Aaron Ramsey. Swansea boss Michael Duff said the angry reaction from fans was part of the job. They now sit in the Championship relegation zone. Well, let's get the forecast now. And Derek, there's more wind and rain on the way.
Yes, typical autumn weather this week, you could say, Jen, thanks to a strong jet stream and low pressures moving in from the Atlantic, bringing bouts of wet and windy weather, quite typical for the middle of September. Unfortunately, we're having problems with the weather computer today, so haven't got any weather maps to show you, but I can still tell you what's in store for the next few days, starting with this afternoon, and it is breezy out there with a mixture of sunny spells and scattered showers. Top temperatures around 15 to 19 Celsius. This evening, a few scattered showers, dry for a time overnight, but then more rain arrives during the early hours, the wind increasing as well. And tomorrow then will be a windy day, strong to gale force winds, rain at times as well, the rain heaviest on the Cambrian Mountains and in Eryri. During the afternoon, the rain will ease off parts of the north and east, dry and brightening up. Top temperatures 17 to 20 Celsius. And that's the latest forecast. Back to Jen.
Derek, thank you very much. And apologies once again for our issues with those weather graphics. And a reminder of our top story. The Deputy Climate Change Minister says Wales are following a movement when it comes to the new speed limit. Wales has become the first UK country to reduce speed limits in built-up areas from 30 to 20 miles per hour. The Water says a new approach was needed to look at reducing road deaths and that Wales isn't the only country reducing speed limits. And that is all from the lunchtime team. Nick Savini will be here with all the day's news at 6:30 this evening. But for now, from all of us on the programme, thanks for your company and do have a very good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Welcome to breakfast.
Thanks for joining us. Good morning to you.
Great to have you.
Hello.
Good